Bamm Ericsen with AFTERBUZZ TV for Power. You said if 50 Cent came back looking like what?
Freddy Krueger.
You was gonna what?
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna talk about it. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Bamm Ericsen here with AFTERBUZZ TV for Power Season 2. I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen. You can follow me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia.
I am your girl, Ayers. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Janeisha John.
And in the building, he plays the character of Julio. Please welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV for the first time, Mr. J.R. Ramirez.
What's up, guys?
Thank you so much for guesting with us.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
We have a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about that song and your character and what everybody wants to discuss. We're going to get into that. But, okay, as far as episode 3, I got this on lock. I just have to say this. The first 7 minutes of last night's episode was so good, I forgot I was watching Power. I thought it was like a spinoff or something. It was so good. Which just goes to prove how, that there's so many different storylines.
Yeah.
One other thing is, I must eat some humble pie. I said, I told Courtney, I said, if 50 Cent come back, I am going to talk mad shit. Courtney, Power, writers,
50.
I apologize.
Right.
I won't eat pie because I must say I thoroughly love where this story is going.
Yes.
So I just have to say that for the record, and when Courtney's here, I will apologize again and say I won't talk shit about your decisions anymore.
Yeah,
Hey.
I gotta give them props too. Like they did, like you said, Bamm. It was like a totally different show, and so I love that. I love that they can just throw in some different, characters and scenarios and scenes, and it was just fly to me.
Girl,
So,
on the edge of my seat the entire episode. So I agree.
So Officer Laverne Garner, aka Jukebox, she's 50 Cent's cousin from Washington D.C. And when 50 had his accident, she went to New York and brought him back to D.C. So just my question to you guys is, what do we think of Laverne, and what effect will she have on Ghost, Tasha, and Tommy?
Well, Jukebox is hella scary. I mean, it's like you said, opened it up. I was like, the whole time I was like, she's intimidating. She was really scary.
Clutching your pearls at home, right?
Anika. But like you said, like everybody said, I really like where it's going. And I got some predictions in regards to her character now in going back to New York, because I don't think this just can't end with 50 Cent becoming healed and then them leaving us with nothing left for her. So I really like her being on the show.
How about that makeup job?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I saw even on the pictures that he had on social media. I was
saw
just like,
that.
wow. I mean, our
Crazy.
team's like, they're so legit. They're so good.
Yeah.
They looked amazing.
That was really, really
I mean,
good.
he looked like he was,
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Kennelia sure did predict that one. So.
You did. He was like, he's gonna come back looking like Freddy Krueger.
He had the Freddy Krueger on.
And shout out to Anika real quick. She's a beast.
Oh my gosh.
She brings so many layers to it. She's just something else.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I met her. When I saw her on the table read, I was just like, this is just,
Wow.
they did an amazing job of bringing in some really good actors this year.
Oh my God.
I've never seen her in a role like this before.
No.
I'm so impressed. Yeah.
She's so intense. I was like, ooh, especially when she was grabbing old girl and kissing on her, I was like, ooh, okay.
And that's another thing. So her girlfriend Candy, I feel like Candy is scared of Jukebox.
Everybody's scared of Jukebox.
You weren't scared of Jukebox?
Wait, did you hear Jukebox say when she hemmed her up against the wall and she was like, "Don't ever go against me like that again," or I don't know, disobey me or something to that effect? And I was just like, oh, like she's clear. She's very clear. Like she'll put it down in some kind of way. So yeah, I would be afraid of her too.
And she's a cop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She don't hesitate to pull that gun out.
No,
and shoot someone
popped.
too.
Yeah, the way she just popped dirt for for I guess not following the rules.
Yeah.
And she walked in the house just with the tape, the cassette tape in her hand, just like it was like no big deal.
And she's so little too, man.
Yeah.
Gangsta, I love it. I love it.
Okay,
So great.
So what do you guys think about? So now with the other guy who is still alive within this little thing. What do you guys think? Do you guys feel with Dirk and Kanan coming together? Do you feel that there's going to be tension between the two? Do you think Kanan will mess up joining this threesome within Dirk, Jukebox, and now Kanan? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's going to be an interesting. I don't know, that storyline is going to be interesting to me because clearly there was already some tension. Yeah. You see how like that whole interaction that they had, but at the same time, Dirk. That's his name, Dirk? Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's got to fall. Yeah. Dirk. Okay, so he's got to fall in line, right? I mean, if you know who Kanan is and you know his reputation or whatever, you sort of got to fall in line with the dude.
But he doesn't because you remember they're in DC.
I know, but he will know. Okay. I'm just saying. So I'm saying at some point I feel like he's got to fall in line.
I don't think he's built for that kind of work. He looked like he needed to be in school studying or something because, like, he didn't... I don't know. He just looked like he was nervous. He was... Like, I wouldn't have sent him on a job. And I think that, Kanan made a valid point when he was like, leave that boy alone. He's not ready for this. Right. So I do think they're gonna have tension. Clearly, because, Kanan, and him was going at it. But I still don't think that he's built for that life, Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think Kanan's obviously he's got a serious plan now. He's very focused on what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Let it be what it is, but I don't think anybody's going to be in his way, especially
not
Dirk.
No. Yeah. We ain't worried about that. Sit down, boy.
Hopefully it's not Julio either. But.
I wonder how the two plans are going to coincide because obviously Juke is going to cross over to New York to take care of Ghost and Tasha and whoever else. But then she also has this plan in DC. So I feel like a freaking spinoff could potentially happen because that's just a lot to deal with. I don't know.
Possibly, but if they and Power Writers do a great job of whatever they show us, they address it. So they showed us that they had a plan in DC. They're probably going to show us what's up with that plan in DC. They talked about with Anika's character and 50's character that the Ghost situation and that the whole Sean betrayal. So they're going to address that too. So I think they'll get everything taken care of it within this time frame. Whether it trickles off into the next season, we'll see. But
yeah.
Final question with this storyline: when they agreed that no more secrets between us, I didn't believe it.
No, right?
So. I feel like something's going to happen between Kanan and Juke because, low key, Kanan does fear his cousin. So I just wonder, with the whole no more secrets and this is power and there's always a method to the madness. I feel like even their friendship, relationship, their street bond is not safe as well.
Well, I here's the thing. Ironically, you have two sort of alpha males. You know what I'm saying? They're both very, very strong. So I think at the end, maybe it's going to be some sort of power struggle or somebody trying to pull rank or I don't know between the two of them. So that's going to be interesting to watch just because they're both bullheaded.
Yeah.
I particularly that scene between them when 50 Cent's character actually expresses that he killed his own son. I don't know, something about her it was weird for me. Like 1 second she was looking emotional, like she was gonna cry or something. Her eyes kind of watered a bit, but then she just turned real cold and was like, you do what you have to do or whatever the case may be. So I kind of don't feel like she's 100% loyal to the Kanan situation.
She ain't playing around.
Yeah, she's not at all.
And I love that you don't know where she's going or where she's coming. She keeps everything like she rides that fine line.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's great. Courtney did an
we all
amazing
agree.
job. Our writers are amazing. Courtney's done an amazing job of bringing
They are. They are very amazing.
And Kanan, he showed us a little vulnerability.
God, look at
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got you.
Because when he said to her, he picked Ghost over me, and then he said, like, you picked old boy over me. We're starting to see a little bit of Kanan's softer side, or why he does the things that he does.
It's the medication.
It's medication, and she got him hooked on lean now. So now he got a whole new guy.
Iced tea. Yeah, and not to mention, I do love that we're seeing his healing process because he's in pain, and we've never really seen Kanan like that. He's always been a boss.
Does this
or whatever.
remind you guys a little bit of Get Rich and Die Try It? I was like, ooh. A little bit. That scene where he was like sipping on the straw.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that took me right back to that place, which was a great movie. So yeah.
So Miss Kennelia made. Well, you were so spot on with this prediction for Tariq. So.
What was that?
Okay.
So badass.
Well, I said that Tariq is going to do some damage with the gun. I actually thought he was going to kill somebody. But I predicted also that it didn't come true, that Tariq needed to get a whooping. Now, I said that, but now, looking at the situation, I don't think he should have got a whooping. He should have got a beating. Because now, he took the gun to school.
Yeah. So, okay, a couple questions. Tariq brings the guns to school, so Ghost accuses Tasha of finding the gun, and when it all came down, the gun was Angela's, and his face was cracked. So I'm going to drag Ghost this episode, just to recap, so just an FYI. But why is it that Tasha speaks up and she kind of mans up when Tariq is in trouble at school, and Ghost just kind of plays the kiss ass? I have a problem with that.
But I feel like it's not the first time that's happened.
It happened last season too.
It did. But okay, so now that we're talking about Tasha real quick, Tasha in this whole episode has oh my gosh, the power that this woman has in this show, in this particular episode. I love the light that they're showing her in. So I think that was like a genius move, just to show like she's not, a damsel in distress right now. She's not in need of Ghost right now. She's got this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I love that scene.
Strengthening her. I like it too.
There were many scenes, and I'll come back to that later.
When Ghost accused Tasha, because obviously she has a gun, doesn't Ghost have a gun too?
But I think he said that he didn't have it
in the house
by Angela. I think he has it in the house with Tasha, or maybe by the club or something.
Okay. Going further along. All right. So, all in favor that Tasha has the right to go off on Ghost. As for leaving the kids with Angela, say aye.
Oh yes.
It was way too soon for that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Way too soon.
Be reasonable. Like, can you apologize? Can you take some freaking action for what you did? Like, I'm Ghost.
Drag him. Go on there.
I wish Tasha would have took that big ass luggage purse and just knocked his ass down the stairs and just let him roll. Like, really, bro? You gonna first blame Tasha? Well, the gun must be yours. Then face is cracked is Angela's, and then you are going to not even acknowledge, and then get upset with her when she cussed your ass out on the steps. For leaving Angela with your kids?
He knows he's in the wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knows. It's like you're just trying to dig yourself out of that hole, and it's just like
he did a terrible job.
He's trying to hold some. He's trying to hold some strength there. What would you do? You know what I mean? Like,
Bamm would have did just like he just did.
I would have.
I'm not feeling where you're going. I'm out.
But that's a good question. What would you do? If we're looking at Ghost, right? Because he's normally powerful and, in that position, is it just hard for him? I mean, what do you think about his character? Is it hard for him to just sort of eat,
like you messed up, you slipped up.
Yeah.
And then what I don't like too is the fact that, Angela has a lot to blame in this too, because she should have been more careful.
No.
Wait, she should have been more careful, because first of all,
she should have asked to meet the kids and have spend the night.
I'm saying, and you make sure your stuff is all locked up, and you have to be more careful.
But she didn't have time to do that. Okay, go ahead.
I get that.
Okay.
But still, you just, when it comes to kids, you just have to be really precautious. Like, that's just what it is. And for me, I was totally annoyed by Angela the entire episode, because she doesn't know how to act around anybody's kids, apparently. A baby's crying, is like, oh, what do I do? Oh my God. No, like, come on. Where are your maternal instincts? Everybody has them. Like, come on.
Well, she doesn't have.
I gotta go with her on that one.
Thank you.
I gotta go with
And she
that.
Hispanic from New York. She gotta have some little
She gotta
cousins or
have-
something. Come on, little cousins.
Tariq, so why are we not? Tariq needs to have some responsibility. He shouldn't have had his ass. He shouldn't have took his ass up, and he shouldn't have got the gun. Now,
I agree, but he's a teen.
I understand that, but again, Angela walked into a house full of kids in a 1-bedroom apartment. She didn't even have time to, like I said last week, she didn't have time to move to hide the dildo, the video toys. I mean, she walked into a complete chaotic situation, and it was like, and Jamie just sitting there on his ass doing nothing.
Right, but yes and no though, Bam, because remember she said, "Let me go change, and then I'm all yours."
And at that point, you in your mind, okay, well, is everything good? Just lock your stuff up. I mean, the gun, I get it. It was, I guess it was an innocent mistake, but still, like, just overall, she just doesn't know how to be around the kids, and maybe they needed to think a little more before they brought the kids into the situation. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That's
I think it was a little soon.
Yeah, it was definitely soon.
As an audience member, I also was just like, "What are you doing to Tariq? Like, what are you doing, dude? Stop going through. That's not your shit. Like, stop
Yes.
you can't be going. Like, so I was kind of like torn, which I love that did that because you're torn between blaming Angela and at the same time this kid that doesn't have no business to be in someone's,
Yeah.
closet, but. I mean, definitely he should have got a good whooping.
He definitely should have. I think we all agree
And
with
when he
that.
talked back to Ghost, I was like, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah. What do you guys think about that whole discussion when they were talking to him? What I found really interesting is how Ghost, killer, he's murdered people. Tasha probably has murdered somebody. We'll find out later on, or she will at the end of the season. And so you have these two hardcore personalities when it comes to dealing with their children, particularly Ghost. All of a sudden now they're, the boy is like, "I'm not giving my phone." Like Tasha literally had to snatch the phone and be like, "Boy, I just find it interesting that you have these two strong parents in the world, but when it comes to their children, particularly Tariq, now their parenting now is a little is different from how they are and how they conduct themselves with people in the in the world.
I agree. I do not like the way that Ghost handles himself when it comes to his kids. I don't like that because remember last episode I was like, oh, he should have nicely interrupted Tariq when he was being all rude, saying my mom has a big screen at her house or whatever. I thought that was so rude. So I don't like how he's dealing with this, but at the same time, I think that. See, we know that they have to show some sort of misbehavior or something like that, right? Like the kids are acting up, and it clearly shows because Ghost left the house. So they have to go this route. I just don't like how he's handling it. But Tasha, once again, this is where she's stepping up a little bit. Even though she didn't smack him or whatever, which I probably would have done, she still, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she still was, what? She got mama on him or whatever. So I still like the way she's handling herself.
She showed some beautiful strength this episode.
Yes.
Like contained strength. She didn't have to go out of her way. She didn't have to scream. She didn't have to do. It was just this contained strength where you're just like, I loved how they showed the Turi's. She's amazing.
And just one other thing, I love how Tasha checked the principal because the principal she played the racist card and basically wanted to expel him.
She did.
And she was like, "Wait a minute, Judy did this. Judy, like what I'm saying, like she stepped up."
She's like, "Come on,
Yeah, she
Black Lives
did.
Matter, stop it."
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, we already knew Tasha got it like that. Tasha is from the streets. She knows. She's been around. You know what I mean? So it's like we're just now starting to see some of that goodness come out. That street goodness. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Okay, so going back to now Jamie and Angela, what is your take on after the whole situation with Tariq? Now they're back at the house. They're having this fight. They're both blaming each other, and I have a lot to say. But what do you guys just think about that whole situation where they're blaming each other? Now she's trying to question his whereabouts with Tommy. The whole night for them just seemed to become a mess because of one situation, and I felt like no one was willing to take responsibility. But what do you guys think about that?
I'm starting to get a little over the fact that Angela keeps going back to the drugs or to Tommy. And again, I said this before. It seems like Angie thinks that you can stop selling drugs in one day and become clean and cut all ties completely overnight. And that's just unrealistic. So in my mind, Angela knows that, but Angie can't accept that. So when she keeps bringing up Tommy, I kind of want Ghost to say, and he said, "I gave up Tommy for you, I picked." But I want him to say, do you really think that I can just cut all ties in one night? That's unrealistic. So I'm over her being that naive in regards to his other life.
And you would think doing what she does, she knows
Right.
she would understand that it just you can't just jump out of it one day, just so quickly.
I felt in that argument, I felt because maybe she felt she was losing the argument because Ghost was blaming her for what I feel was his dumbass fault. So I felt like in order to kind of change the to try to up him one, then she changed the topic and was like, okay, well, so since you think you're right about this, let me get your ass for this one. So have you seen Tommy? So I felt like it was something to keep the argument going, but to push it in her favor is what I took it as.
Could be. What I got from that entire scene was kind of what I've been saying. The fact that they are in this real certified relationship now, and it's all the stuff is coming along with it, and it's not so pretty as it once was. They got to fantasize before. They got to be in that whole lovey-dovey bubble. But and I commend them for really actually trying to do this. But now she's really seeing what this is all about. So it's sort of like blowing up in my mind.
And I have to agree with Kennelia and you. There's a lot of pieces that have to be cleaned up first before you guys can have a healthy working relationship. Come on now.
Yep.
Like you have the family, you have, of course, Tasha, you have Tommy. There's just so many moving elements to this situation, and it's just not you two anymore. So, I mean, even what's his name is coming and harassing her and showing her, okay, well, look, he was just by Tommy. So,
one other thing is, how come Jamie didn't know Angela had a gun? I mean, y'all get up after y'all finish having sex. Y'all get up in the morning, you take showers, you get dressed, you pack your purse. How come Jamie didn't know that Angela had a gun?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wasn't she hiding it though? Like, kind of. I'm assuming. I'm trying to remember. I feel
Yeah.
like she hit it once before. No.
Well, didn't she just get this gun? Didn't it show that the first episode, first and second episode, where she just got it, or it was an emphasis on her getting this gun and like now being like, okay, I have this for my protection.
But now she just started carrying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like she just started actually holding it on her person. So I think that's what maybe they were showing it to us because it was a change. Before she was like, I don't need the gun. It's at home. I'm safe. And now she's like, oop, I need the gun.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. Like, when you spend that much time with someone, kind of you get the routines every morning and stuff, and you would see something like that for sure. But it's TV, guys. I mean, they can't hit every. We got an hour, It's like.
But man, in an hour, you guys cover so much.
We pack it in. We pack it in.
You guys
sure,
really do. Speaking of packing in, Kennelia, you made another great prediction, which you were right. So Tasha, Tommy, and Holly. Let's discuss this. So you had a prediction. What were you right on?
That they showed us the weave shop, and that now the money needs to be cleaned via the weave shop with Lakeisha's help. But Lakeisha don't know. I thought Lakeisha was gonna be in on this.
I'm kind of happy she's not.
I'm glad too.
Yeah.
It adds a nice twist that she's not. I feel, in my opinion.
And it's very smart. But where I see this going with Holly, and I put in my notes, poor Holly. Do you think she can handle this business?
No.
I don't think she can handle. When she walked in, she said, "What's that smell?"
Right here, you'll get used to it.
That was good.
Yeah, she's in over her head.
Yeah.
She is.
She's over her head. And I wonder, do you think, besides that, but do you think that she would get into her feelings and just fuck this whole thing up? I feel like
she's a loose cannon. Like I think she's just a wild card.
The thing with her, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. She totally could, Or she can get it together and kind of step up,
Yeah, you never know. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, she's got those tendencies of showing you some things, but you just never know. That's what I love about it.
And when they were in the hair shop, when she came back from the bathroom, she's all fidgety and she goes, "Does anybody know?" And it's just like, girl, shut up.
Yeah, she's so suspicious.
I also feel like she looks up in a weird way. I feel like she looks up to Tasha.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's going to be a nice little dynamic for her to learn. I feel like she's going to learn a lot from her.
Yeah.
Where do you see this going as far as Holly and Keisha relationship? Because
well, before we talk about that really fast, Tasha, something that I gathered from that is I feel like she's wearing it on the outside, like she's taking care of herself pretty well. But I think Tasha's in everything for herself now. She's just kind of like, well, if Ghost can do this to me, like I'm in this by myself. And I still think she has something up her sleeve, because even for her not to tell her best friend, I understand why she didn't tell her, and I agree with that decision. But at the end of the day, you're doing some dirt in her store and you're not saying anything about it, that's a self move.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like she's doing this whole thing like.
You don't think she's protecting her by doing that?
She is protecting her. Yeah. She is. But you're also not protecting her by getting her business involved in this.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys have put some work into this.
Yeah.
Yo, you guys, oof. I love it.
I can see that. And there was a feel of guilt that I felt Tasha had while she was there because she was not allowing her best friend to know this information. But it's selfish, but I think it's a good thing that she's selfish for this because Tasha knows that she can face jail and she doesn't want Keisha to be involved. So I feel like it's a right thing to be selfish for this situation. But you're right, it is selfish.
It is. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not mad at that decision. I'm saying like she is protecting her, but Tasha is good. Tasha is really good, and she's a planner. Yeah. Remember what she told Ghost? She was like, "You gonna keep effing her until I tell you to stop."
Sure did.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a I got this kind of move. Like so that's how Tasha sort of plays, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Were you okay? So this bond, Holly is obviously playing the role very well as far as making Tasha think that they're friends. Do you think Tasha is falling into it, or do you think Tasha has her own plan and that they're just both playing each other?
She's got her plan. That's what I still feel like something's going on in her mind and it's coming along for her. But Holly, I think, is getting caught up in that.
Yeah.
So you think? Okay, what do you think about Tasha and Holly's bond or connection?
Their relationship?
Yeah, their relationship.
I feel like like Holly's gonna like I said, she really looks up to Tasha quite a bit, and Tasha she's good. She means, and she's been through a lot. So that's why I feel like it's like you want to pull for her because of everything that's been going on. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she knows, and you could feel like she knows the game. She's got the strength to be able to really make this work. So I feel like Holly knows that in a sense. You know what I mean? So I feel like Holly definitely, it's understated, but she definitely looks up to her. And I think that's a really cool dynamic with everything that priorly has happened, Yeah. So it's hard because there's so much I just gotta stay quiet about because I like my job. So
we don't want you to do that.
I'm just like, I'm just gonna stop there.
Holly is pregnant.
Yes, she's pregnant.
That drives me insane.
And so she's pressing the issue for Tommy to kill Ghost because she wants her baby and Tommy and them to be one happy little family.
But I have a problem with it because I don't know why she thinks she can, first of all, bring Tasha into the picture. Yeah, and as much as Tasha might hate Ghost right now, that is the father of her kids, she's not going to agree with the plan to kill him or anything like that. And so I just kind of feel at some point Tasha's going to find out about this thing and it's going to be some hell to pay, and Holly needs to get that out of her head quick because I just don't see, Tommy killing Ghosts. It's just not happening for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. But the baby does change things.
Yeah.
It definitely changed things because one, Tommy doesn't know yet. So once Tommy finds out, is he going to have the incentive to now kill Ghost because he wants to protect his child? Because Tommy seems to be really great with kids. He's good with Tariq. So is this going to change his perspective, or is Holly just going to bumble the whole thing like she usually does? Because Holly has good intentions, but Holly's problem is that she just messes up without even realizing that she's about to mess up. So
she's a mess.
Yeah, she's a hot mess. So I think the baby. Once Tommy finds out, I think that's gonna be the thing. I still don't think he's gonna kill Ghost like Janeisha said, but and he can't. This is Ghost show.
But flip it to. Oh, go ahead.
You never know. That's all I'm saying.
But
that's it. That's all I got.
I think
flip it to the perspective of okay, Tommy now finding out he's gonna have a child. Now, how is you're about to be a potential father? How are you gonna go about killing somebody that has kids? Like,
but the question is, because if you look at when you saw the preview, Tasha knows that Holly's pregnant. We don't know if Tommy knows. Sorry. Okay, it's a preview. Yeah. So Tasha knows Holly's pregnant. We don't know if Tommy knows, and we don't know if Tasha told Tommy if Tasha told Holly not to tell him yet.
Yeah.
You never know.
You don't know. Okay, remember I was saying, I think my prediction was that, some way out thing, maybe Tommy was going to kill Holly or something like that. I mean, you never know how that thing is going to pan out. What if he just doesn't find out? What if they hold that off until like the very end of the season, him finding out, and he roughs up Holly or something, and then finds out that she was, I don't know. My mind starts going, you know what I mean?
It's the same thing.
Step one is get off that yay, man. That's just not.
For real.
Get off that yay,
Yeah.
boy. It's not helping any of us.
It's like it's bad for business.
Before we get into Tommy and Julio, the final thing that I want to go before we get to you is the whole Ghost Tommy situation. So the meeting. Now, although Ghost cut ties with his brother Tommy, does he have a right to just think that Tommy should just automatically just jump up because Ghost wants him now to be partners again because his life is threatened? Like, what do you guys think about that whole situation?
I honestly thought it was a little selfish of Ghost to just be like, dude, let's go kill Lobos together. Like, what?
Especially after making him feel so worthless.
That's what I'm saying. Where you been?
But Ghost seems like he doesn't know he did anything wrong.
Yeah.
So from his perspective, he's like, yeah, Lobos is after me. If he's after me, he's after you. Let's kill him. Yay.
Yeah.
And Tommy's like, you hurt me. And Ghost seems to not be aware that Tommy is hurt in any way. He probably thinks he's just pissed because he don't want to sell dope anymore.
True.
So, I mean, that's what they need to talk about.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like,
the
all right,
pain.
because why Ghost saying that I'm back and we need to kill him, does that mean that you're only going to be Ghost when it's time to knuckle up and fight and not sell drugs? Or are you Ghost selling drugs, knuckling up and fighting? Like, what? How much of Ghost are you?
Right.
And how much are you committing, Ghost to Tommy?
Yeah. I don't know, but I love the scenes with the two of them because there's so much dynamic in it. My favorite scene, and I had to actually tweet this to Joseph, like the scene where he's walking away, and then what does Ghost
says,
yell out to him?
He says, in my notes,
Is Lobos want to come here or something like that?
he says,
You saved me.
Yeah.
Right.
He says, you're still the same Ghost, and then Tommy, you saved me, and then Ghost says, let me save us both.
Yes. And
okay.
so, but
Lobos
the
coming
face
after me. Goodbye, Ghost.
that Tommy had, he went through like a range of emotions just in a few milliseconds. It was just like shock, and then almost like this is my brother, you know what I mean? And then right before he says goodbye, Ghost, I mean, it was just so much. I love the relationship that they have, and I think ultimately they're going to end up getting back together and working something, somehow they're going to work together.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
But although Ghost was selfish, he made a damn good point.
He sure did.
And I took some notes. He says that he tries to kill me, your next brother. And he says, Tommy says he needs me, he needs you for now.
What's gonna happen when you mess up or something like that?
And
right?
when you gonna happen was mess up. So I mean, he makes a good point. So it's like, if he's trying to kill Ghost, what make you think he's not going to kill you? What? Because now you're distributing his drugs. Like, at that point, Lobos can get anybody
True.
to distribute his drugs. I mean, Lobos is such a G. He's alive but dead, and he's selling drugs, and everybody thinks he's dead. So Tommy, you don't think that at some point you're gonna be whacked off?
Yeah, but Tommy's on the yay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Tommy's on the yay.
he's functional though. He's functional drug.
He's for sure functional, but I think he's also I think the big thing for him is the disconnection that he's had with his. But Ghost is his real true only brother.
Yeah.
That this man has had, and he's hurt, and it's hard for him to see past that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know to what extent, and I work with, obviously a lot of my stuff is with Joe. I don't know to what extent Tommy feels like he can actually run all this. Like, I know it's a part of him feels like, I know he misses Ghost, but he's just so hurt that I think that's kind of where his mind's at right now. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really getting the whole fact of that Lobos is actually could potentially just kill his best friend from and he knows. And it's interesting because now that Holly's pregnant, that's going to be interesting to see what decisions he takes.
Yeah.
I also think I think he sort of wants this approval from Ghost too, in a sense, because when he said when, not if, Ghost, like how come you always doubt me? You know, like I can do this. You know, so I feel like just having Ghost approval and just kind of having his support means a lot to Tommy. So.
Just something to prove, you know. I think he does have something to prove.
That's his brother.
Yeah.
Hands down, no matter what.
So last week we saw a connection between Julio and the girl from Fort. I just know the girl from America's Next Top Model. What's her character's name?
She was from America's Next Top Model.
She was gorgeous.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. Sheena.
Sheena. Yeah. And so we saw the connection between Julio and Sheena last week, and then this current episode, y'all was knocking boots.
Getting it in.
I guess what you call that's what cool kids call it nowadays. Yeah. Hey, listen, Julio's had he's had the butt end of a lot of stuff here. You know, let him have a little fun.
Let him get a shot.
Let him have a little fun for crying out loud.
I was like, okay, get it.
My head was down. I was doing something, picking something up, and that scene came on, and it was such a powerful scene. Actually, I think it's one of the most wild kind of sex scenes that we've seen.
It was hot.
I mean, we've seen some great sex scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm calling it great. But that was I looked up, what? And that's Julio? I was tripping out, dang, Julio. It was different, you know, it was different, but I thought it was a great scene.
It's funny because I was pretty nervous to see how it all turns out, because it's that, you know, it's always an uncomfortable thing as an actor to, you know, have to do those kind of things. It's not intimate at all. And Sheena was amazing. She was such a trooper. She's so professional. But you never know how it's going to come. So I figured they were I didn't know how they were going to edit it. And when I saw it, I was just like, okay, wow, people are going to really, because it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, bam, right in your, I was just like, all right. There it goes.
Yeah.
You know? Just
on a side note, what is the feeling like right after you're done with that scene with Sheena? Is it just kind of like, all right then, is it?
Oh, it was, we wrapped around 3 o'clock, and we wrapped around 2 a.m. By 3, I was having the largest pepperoni pizza I could find. Legit.
I was gonna say, because you probably didn't eat all day right?
I don't want to talk about that. That was I was like, I really hope I don't got another one, because it was it's funny. They actually, the guy that plays Mike Sandoval, David Fumero, which is one of my best friends on the show. He put me through a little he's a beast. The guy's been working out his whole life. He put me through we roomed together last year. He put me through a 6-week regimen, which was cool. I love working out, being in shape. But the last week is you really want results. And I don't got a big sweet tooth, but I love certain things that have, I love sugar in my coffee. Don't take that away from me. He made me no carbs, no sugar.
Damn.
I wanted to kill somebody. But that's where, the results definitely, my body totally changed within that week. I was like, all right. But I was like, right after that, I was just pepperoni. First thing I could find, I was like,
How much time were you given prior to knowing that was going to happen, so that you can work out and make sure you're
They gave me enough time for sure. Yeah, they gave us it was about 2 months. Yeah, that's plenty of time. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes they're like, I've had I did a show before where, I booked it on a Thursday, showed up on a Friday, tried so much clothes on, and on Monday when I showed up to work, after going through a whole wardrobe thing, I opened my drawer, and there's a pair of underwear, and I'm just like, what the where's all of that? Where's the jeans? That was it. I was just like, okay, I'm not in shape for this, but let's go.
So now going more toward the story, do you guys think that that Sheena is setting Julio up by spilling the info to him regarding the portion size of the coke?
I think it was an innocent squeal.
It seemed organic to me.
Yeah.
And if so, I mean, he's screwed now if that's the case, because old boy cut his finger off.
He sure did. Pops wasn't playing.
I just kind of wondered, only because their relationship started from week 2, and now week 3 they're smashing boots, and so there's the conversation. And with Power, I don't trust any story to ever just go away just like that. So I do have to wonder, what's her motive, what's her intention. She is kind of the how can I say this? Her job is to seduce and smash guys. So she's working for them. So I just wonder what's her motive.
It was funny because that was a really interesting point. But when we were doing it, it was it felt like it was a total chess game. Because for me, I was just like, I'm playing her to get something out of her. You know what I mean? And then I was like, wait, is she playing me? You know what I mean? So it was this really beautiful thing that they did to, you never know where, who's playing who in a way. So.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see something come from that. So
yeah.
And then, do you guys? What's your take on Tommy? Do you guys think that he is transitioning well as the top #1 guy, or do you think that he's still a little over his head, or what do you guys think as far as Tommy, as far as him controlling the coke enterprise?
Well, Tommy's emotional. And he leads with his heart. He does make good decisions, but at the end of the day, Tommy is all about this. So, I mean, he's trying to do a good job, and I think for the most part he is doing a good job. But when he did, like last time, we saw him throw the guy off the building with Julio, and then he took his mask off. So certain aspects, Tommy he's uncontrollable. So I think yes, for the most part he's okay, but.
When he's on that,
because
you saw him beat up that guy too. Sorry,
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say when he beat him like crazy, like senselessly, like come on, like.
Yeah, he's not right. He's too emotional. That was mine.
Yeah, I just feel like he has moments. I love the moments. I think it was last episode, or probably even the one before, where he was eating at the different tables and he was, making deals with everybody. Like moments like that, I really like. But ultimately, I think he is emotional and he has a point to prove. And so I don't know. I don't know if he's in over his head or not, but he has definitely moments that he shines.
When they were having, when Tommy and Julio was having the conversation with the Korean guy, and he kind of blamed them for when they went to confront him about slicing the drugs in half.
Yeah.
The Korean guy was playing dumb as far as him not knowing what was going on, and there was just something in my spirit that felt like they're gonna come after Tommy and Julio.
I don't think so, because I feel like he went to his son and he already had his little boy slice up his finger. So I'm like,
it felt like an ego thing, that it's like, how dare you confront me about how I choose to sell my coke after you sold it to me.
True, but I think that Tommy handled it well. He's like, listen, I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying there's somebody in your organization that's not doing what you normally would do. They're not following your practices, So I think that's where Tommy was coming from. Like, I think if anything, it's like, okay, respect, thank you for coming and tell me about this. I'm gonna handle it. And he handled it. That's how I feel about it.
I was actually surprised in the writing that they went, because he could have easily been emotional in that moment. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that he was very calm and collective there.
It shows you he's a good businessman. He's about the business.
Then again, you never know what
I have a prediction about that, though. But.
And then another question I want to ask: do you guys think that Julio is best to be the number two to be the number 2 guy?
I do.
Behind
Tommy or behind somebody else?
Just whoever. I mean,
behind Ghost. Yes.
Whoever. Do you feel like he should be the number 2 guy?
Yes, for a couple of different reasons. He's been around for a long time with both of them.
Yeah.
And then he's got a logic. I mean, he thinks with his head. You know what I mean? So like when he's always like, not always, but when he said, "Where's Ghost?" He's trying to figure out like what's up and trying to dissect the situation a little bit. He thinks with his head. So
I think he's a lot more calm and collected than Tommy is. Yeah. So honestly, if I were Ghost, and I mean, Tommy of course knows the ins and outs, but going based on just how he handles himself, I personally would have been like, okay, Julio, you would have been next to, take over this kind of thing. That's just my opinion. Hotheads aren't good for that type of business, and that's just how I feel.
Yeah. So I agree. I kind of think that Julio and Dre should switch. Julio needs to come to the club and work with Ghost. Dre needs to go outside and sell drugs. That's it. Because Dre wants to sell dope. He really wants to sell drugs. And Julio misses Ghost as well.
I think a lot of people think like that, though. Yeah. That's the funny thing. That's a really interesting thing of how the characters are created, because it's so true. I personally think Julio would, that's kind of like where he would shine in. He would do so well behind... it's interesting because I get asked that a lot. Like, who would Julio go for? Like, is he a team Tommy or a team, Ghost? And it's an interesting thing for me.
And speaking of that,
a little bit of both. There's definitely there's so much love for both of them equally. But he's definitely trying to figure out. He's trying to figure out where he fits in this whole equation after realizing how effed up Ghost's head is right now, and and the emotional loose cannon that Tommy is, you know. So he's definitely got his, his little methodical. He's very methodical about the decisions he's trying to make right now. So
well, I definitely think that Julio should definitely he's qualified to be the number 2, but I think that because he's not getting the respect that he should be getting, I feel like at some point with this whole thing with Ghost and Tommy, I feel you're gonna cross on over to the Ghost side, behind Tommy's back.
Right. Is there any loyalty to either one right now, or is Julio still just trying to figure that out?
I think he's really trying to figure it out. I think he's really just trying to figure out what his proper next move is. Because at the end of the day, he's in this for, to get to that spot, to get to the number 1 spot. So I think he's really trying to take a step back and, observe it all.
I'll ask that in a second. Really quickly, this Karen Bassett lady, do you think Karen is up to something, or is she trying to smash with Ghost, or is she with Stern? What's your take on Karen Bassett? And will she come between Ghost and Angela?
I think she's legit in regards to what she's dealing with. But when Jamie told her, "What you see is what you get," I'm the real deal, I was like, "Whoop, that's gonna fall through the cracks." It's not gonna work out.
I agree. I think she's gonna do her research and she's gonna dig up some dirt on Ghost, and that's just what it is. So
yeah. But I think that it was legit as well. Like,
she looks like she's all about her business. So.
Yeah.
And maybe Stern might come back too. So yeah.
Because his name is being brought up way too much. Yeah, and for him to just go away.
And the fact that she knew all the dirt. She knew about Stern. She knew about the wife. She knew the wife's name. She knows a lot of information. So I kind of wonder, because it seems just a little abnormal that a guy who comes up to her in the middle of a business dinner, and then she shows up to the club during the daytime, not the nighttime. She shows up in the daytime and then starts talking the business, and then I can feel like she's kind of flirting with them.
Jamie's a fly dude. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
if he came and interrupted my dinner, I'd have been like, "Hey, what's up?"
But as a strong businesswoman, and just any woman who looks good, like all you ladies have probably been getting hit on since you were probably 12. Like half the dudes that have been trying to hit on you. So you should know when, you should tell a dude,
He got that swag. I'm sorry. Okay. I think he came in there like a boss and was like, dismiss these 2 little kids. I'm here now. Come see me when you're ready. That's what I think he did. Okay. And she got it. So
she may get something else.
This show,
last topic. Let's go into creepy Greg, Angela, and Medina. So, do you really think Angela was gonna potentially shoot Greg when she did?
I wish she did. I was over Greg.
Everybody's over Greg.
So over Greg.
I don't think she would have shot him though. I think she was just trying to intimidate him.
Of course, I had to ask that question.
Yeah.
And then Greg obviously has gotten in Angela's head, which I think he does all the time. So, do you think Angela will actually warn Jamie that Greg is following him, and which will out Mike for the misconduct of the law enforcement? So do you think that, let me rephrase that. So do you think that Angela would tell Jamie what's going on, and then Jamie will then obviously get into the mix of it?
I think she's scared.
Right.
Because Ghost saying he ain't got no time for those games. He's going to hurt Greg.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Greg told her, too. He warned her of that. He was like, and I think you're afraid of what Jamie would or Ghost would do if you told him. So I don't think she would. I don't know. I think she'd be scared too, because
I think she is going to tell Jamie what's going on, because she's not gonna have a choice. They're gonna have one of those. They're gonna have one of those stupid arguments where they're gonna be arguing back and forth, and she's gonna feel a certain way, and she's gonna wind up telling him, which is why. This is going to probably help my prediction of why I think Angela is going to take the fall and get arrested anyway. This is what I think.
You got some predictions, huh?
I do. The final question. So Medina is now helping Greg find Ruiz, which is another big question. Who shot JR? It's almost like, okay, where the hell is the Ruiz? Does Julio know where Ruiz is?
Maybe.
Maybe not?
Maybe.
Okay. So then... All right, you guys play a little chess. So did Julio know the whereabouts during season 2 when he left?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he knew.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna
go home and be like,
I'm gonna ponder on that. I'm gonna ponder on that. But I want to talk about you as JR and the actor.
Yeah.
What was the process like? How did you find out about the casting for Power?
Power actually came around, and I, when you first, I never got a script, so I got like a small material, and I think I said I wasn't going to go in on this.
Wow.
I think it was one of those moments. I was just like, I don't want to go in on this, and I'm really glad I did.
I'm saying, yeah.
Long story short, but it was a very kind of quick. This one was not very long and tedious for me.
How many times did you have to audition?
Just once.
Wow.
Damn.
There wasn't the whole testing and all that stuff for this. This was kind of because I also was reoccurring the first season,
Yeah.
so it was a smaller role. But yeah, it was pretty painless. This one was pretty painless for me. So, and I'm actually really glad I decided to.
Yeah, it's clearly like your character too, because
man, it's been such an amazing experience.
Are you still reoccurring? Or are you series regular now?
No, I became a series regular as of season 2.
Yeah.
So,
Good job.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
Thank you.
Is JR anything like Julio?
I mean, I think there's a little bit of all of us in what we do. Absolutely. I would say, yeah. There's a huge. One of the biggest things of Julio, I think, is his loyalty towards the people around him, and that's something that it's been instilled in me since I was a kid. So I'm extremely loyal to my friends and my family and stuff. It's very important to me. So I think that's a huge part of who this guy is, in a sense.
To piggyback off of what she said, is there anything that you had to do to prepare for, specifically for this role? I know you had the tattoos and
Yeah.
I
mean, one of the things that really affected, I think, my performance was, like we were talking about before, I didn't know anything about New York.
Okay.
And I think New York is such a huge part of the show. Like, it really can't be done. I can't see it being done anywhere else.
Right.
It's a show within itself, the city is. So I spent some time before I got out there just kind of feeling out the city, walking around. Luis has been... Vibra. Luis has been a dear friend of mine. He's a New Yorker to heart, so he took me to the Bronx and all these like mom and pop's restaurants. Walks in, everybody knows them with free food. He's a character, to say the least. But yeah, I really took in the what New York had to offer, and I think that really helped a lot when we got on set, and because I shoot on location so much. I'm really rarely in the studio. So we get the cold and we get the nice little raw elements that the city has to offer. So that was a big thing for me.
Whose idea for the 718? Because your character is pretty famous simply just because you're known for having the 718 tattoo.
Yeah.
Was that something that was in the script, or was that maybe like your idea? Whose suggestion was that to have that tattoo?
I mean, you guys are gonna find out what that all stands for. But it was definitely theirs for sure. Yeah, there's a story behind that, and a story behind some of the tattoos. Here he goes. Thinking caps are coming on.
Predictions.
Yeah, the Toro on my back, that tattoo I had on my back that you guys saw, that's, it's all kind of plays into who this guy is and where he comes from and all that good stuff.
Yeah. I think we've had several of the cast members come on to the show now, and nobody knew that Power was going to be this big. Is it the same for you?
Absolutely not. No, we had no idea.
How has life changed for you, though?
I mean, not much, to be honest with you. It's definitely it takes a little bit to get used to. Like, most of the times people stop me on the streets and stuff. You would think they're the actor and not me. I'm just like, I want to crawl into a hole and just run away. I'm not good with that whole thing. But that takes a little bit getting used to. But it's amazing how the response has been, and especially from more than anything from my peers and people that actually my family and my friends and everyone's hooked, and you never really knew. You really never knew that it was going to be something like this.
Yeah.
No one really has any idea. So, I mean, it's been an amazing roller coaster, and I'm so blessed and proud that
Or has there been any perks to being famous or being known for?
Again, perks. Let's see. I mean, I'm a big basketball fan, so Luis took me to my first game at the Knicks last year. It was floor seats, right on the floor. Mello came over and said what's up,
Nice.
and like it was surreal, man. That's the only perk that I really like. I always tell my cousin he's a big sports manager, and like I always tell people, I'm just like, the only perk I really want is like to be able to have my own little like seat right in the front basketball games. I love basketball, man. So like that's my thing right there.
Who's your team?
Well, I grew up in Florida, so yeah. So I jumped on a bandwagon out here. Sorry, what was I, Orlando? No. The Lakers, man. Yeah,
Okay,
Lakers. I like the
right.
Clippers. I like LA teams. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I jumped on the whole
The Warriors.
The Warriors bandwagon. I jumped on it.
Can they give you that handshake?
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers, they got no hope for a little while, so.
I am curious to know some of the things that you're working on outside of Power.
Yeah, I was shooting a show called Rosewood on Fox.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be reoccurring on that, and I just did an indie movie that Jennifer Morrison directed called Sundogs with a fantastic cast. That is just the writer is the writer of Warrior, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, with Tom Hardy, and it's really clever. It's a dramedy that's really well put together. So, yeah, that should be coming out next year at some point.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go into predictions.
Bamm got his notebook out ready.
There we go.
You got tons.
Who's going first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
I'm saving my prediction. Go ahead, you guys.
Okay, I'll go. So, 1, Ghost is moving back home with Tasha. By the end of this season, he has to move in for the kids. You know how marriages, you break up, you got another little side piece, but then the kids start acting bad and you have to move back in. So I think that might happen. I also think in regards to Jukebox and Kanan, the fact that they talked about Sean being killed and he betrays you, blah, 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 I kind of feel like something is going to go down with Tariq. Somebody put this, was this on Twitter or somewhere? Somebody said this, or maybe one of you guys. Something's going down with Tariq in regards to Kanan. That's just what I think. Like an eye for an eye type of thing. Or maybe Kanan, not Kanan, but Tariq is just going to get real hood and start hanging with some hood rats. Who knows? I like what Robin said earlier in regards to Holly and Tommy not finding out about Holly being pregnant until it's too late. So I kind of see something with that going on as well.
Okay, well, my predictions. I think Julio will have to be the one that goes and get Ruiz.
Okay.
I predict Ruiz will come around probably episode 7 or 8 before we get to the meat and potatoes of the big, So I think Julio is gonna have to go and get Ruiz, and Ghost is the one that's going to have him go get him. So like I said, I think Julio is gonna jump sides, and he's gonna have to go Team Ghost.
Okay.
And then my normal predictions as far as being the depths and things and so forth.
Who's gonna die?
Who are you killing this week?
Well, I felt like the preview for next week's episode, like it was very deep, very dramatic. It was. There's so much. Kanan comes back, and Kanan has a mask, and they look like they're getting ready to do a number. So I don't know who's gonna die just yet, but I'm gonna stick to it. Keisha and Holly are gonna cross. They're gonna butt heads at some point with this whole weave thing. And then as far as Jukebox is concerned, maybe Tasha and Jukebox will have to, knuckle it up, woman to woman.
That'd be good.
They're both two small women. I think that would be a good about. And I think that's it. But yes, someone's gonna die soon.
How's your death ratio looking on? I'm curious. What's your number? You 50%? Where you at?
So far, will someone die next week? Maybe.
Well, you predicted Sean was gonna die.
Yeah, I predicted Sean, and I still think Tariq is gonna get himself into some trouble. Okay. And I think maybe Tariq at some point will start to maybe what's Dre? I think Dre may start to befriend Tariq when Kanan gets back.
Okay.
And I still also think the goons are gonna rob the club. that we saw from last week. So there's a lot. There's a lot, but yeah, there's a lot. But anything else?
Predictions?
Nope. Go ahead.
I think we forgot about little pinky guy. He's definitely coming he's coming for Tommy and for you.
Yeah.
And I also think that I think Tasha and Holly are gonna have it out. Like serious.
Yeah.
I see that happening. And then I also agree with you, Kennelia. I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Ghost and Tasha gonna get it in. They gonna rekindle that love.
Grass is always greener.
Yeah. And then lastly, him and Ghost and Tommy are gonna go, team up and kick some butt when it comes to Lobos. So that's what I think.
I predict that somebody's prediction is gonna come true, and next episode, I don't know whose, but next episode is gonna be really good. That's my prediction.
It is a really good one.
Yeah.
I know you can't give me predictions, but is there anything that you would like to tell us?
Everybody does.
Okay. Well, can I say something? I do think that when the series ends, I think this is gonna. I think it's gonna go 5 series, and I hate to say it, but by season 4, I think
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Come on,
Dang, Ben. I'm not gonna jump on that.
This place, I'm feeling so much love here. Like, what's going on?
But I'm not.
Can y'all make sure he doesn't write that down though? Like, don't put that.
Don't make
just
that
let him
come
just
alive.
say it. Don't write it down.
I'm speaking about Julio, not JR. I just, but
No, I hear you.
yeah.
All right. Well, if
But
it's any
man,
consolation, we keep
Yeah,
you
you know
around.
what? Yeah, exactly.
The ladies will
have me
keep you
back. Have me back.
thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much for having me. It was an
Let
honest
everyone
pleasure.
know where you can be found on social media.
Yeah, my social media is JR Ramirez. JR8 Ramirez? Is that what I don't even know what it is? JR8 Ramirez. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for having me. It was a blast.
Thank you so much. And then where can you be found?
You guys can find me on all social media at Janeisha_Miss VI.
And you can find me on all of my social media platforms at Robin Ayers.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Kennelia.
And you can find me on our social media at Bamm Ericsen. Wow, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to
so
our
much.
special
That was
guest,
great. Appreciate it, guys.
Mr.
Thanks
J.R.
so much.
Ramirez, who plays Julio. Man, thank you. Please come back.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, right down the
Please come
street.
back.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
thank you guys for watching. Keep it locked, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.